What's up, everybody? The recovery. Thanks to all the subscribers. I appreciate everyone that's here, helping each other, helping me, and just keeping this thing going, guys. Guys, I want to apologize about my audio. I'm investing in a new mic. Something's went wrong with mine. I'm also upgrading my camera. So, guys, I'm upgrading everything. Hoping to bring you better content. As always, hit the subscribe button, become part of the recovery family. Hit the notification bell. Drop a like, share. You know all what I'm going to say, guys. So, we got the Zack interview. I apologize about the audio, but like I said, guys, I'm fixing that as we speak. Hopefully have a new camera to upgrade that within the next 2 weeks. So, guys, just look forward to a lot of good content to come, and let's jump into the Zack interview. The recovery, doing this on the fly a little bit, but we got Zack here. He's going to share a little more about some of the major things that led up to him changing his life. So, let's get into it, Zack.
So, I mean, like I said, around January, February of this year, I went back to treatment, and it was just because I wasn't loving myself, and I was dragging my family through a lot of different things. When I went down to treatment, I'll never forget this. I'm still friends with the guy to this day. I walked into treatment, and a guy named Chad just loved me unconditionally, which was really odd to me because I wasn't, ready to love myself. So have somebody else loving me was insane.
It's funny you say that because, support from people in recovery, it helps so much sometimes. Right. Sorry, but go. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. I mean, honestly, having support from people like that and, living the life that we've led, we don't really love people. We don't know how to love people. We're not loved, and we're kind of like,
everyone's out to get each other.
Right. You're kind of left for dead, so to have somebody the first day I got into treatment want to know how I was doing and wanting to know more about me, wanting to love me, smiled all the time was crazy to me, and it really changed my views on just what I wanted. The whole staff at the detox center I went to was nothing but loving. And, I went to treatment. I went back down to Florida still one other time because I still wasn't ready. I came back home, I relapsed, and it was terrible. I hated it this time. I knew it wasn't the life that I wanted to have anymore. I hated the people around me. I hated what I was doing. Really, I'm a mom.
How long, if you don't mind me asking, how long was your relapse for?
My relapse was for about 2 weeks.
See, that's the one thing I want to say is it seems like if you get grounded in recovery, it was easier for me to come back from my relapse because I relapsed for about 2 weeks or so.
Right.
And but I had people to support me and help me get back up. So that's awesome that it was only 2 weeks because had it been another week, you might not be here. But go ahead, sir, bro.
It got really, in my case, I don't know if it was God or whatever that was looking out for me. I ended up overdosing, and the only thing that saved my life was the girl that was in the room with me had kept on doing CPR on me, and when the police finally arrived there, I was brought back 8 times.
Wow.
And so, it's a miracle that I'm still living today and breathing. And, I'm very thankful for that.
So that was your last overdose?
Right, that was my last overdose.
And that's crazy because, I had multiple overdoses, and that's what people don't realize is, it does take a few times sometimes.
Right.
We could definitely come back from anywhere, that's one thing for sure. So, how are you doing now? What things are helping you along the way right now? I know you're into sober living and stuff.
Right.
They do allow maintenance, which I support all recovery. All recovery is good recovery,
Sure.
I don't think, I hate that some people judge each other's path. That's not what it's about. It's about support. But,
right.
So I think it's awesome the house you're in allows that. So you want to speak any on that or is that helping a lot?
I definitely want to talk about the house. The house is a huge part of my recovery, if not the most important thing in my recovery right now. Like I said, I'm the assistant manager there, and you know, all the guys just loving me, talking to me, and they bring me up more than I do them. Like I have a lot of love for the guys that are in my house, and a lot of the guys are surprisingly, you know, because if you look at statistics, we don't have a very high survival rate or chance to actually, you know,
Yeah, I know. Like,
it.
I know for felons getting out, even like the recidivism rate is like sky high. I mean, it's
Right.
up in the over 95% that you're going to reoffend within 5 years. So
Right.
like the addiction thing, yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, it seems like you're in a good house.
I don't think we've had anybody relapse or anything like that within 2 or 3 months. Right now, the group of guys that I have in my house they're awesome. They're a good group of guys. This is by far one of the best houses I've been in or have had since I've came to New Foundations. And it's really like it's a great feeling.
How do they? I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was curious. How do they do the maintenance situation there? You just got to show that you see a doctor, or do they refer to a program?
They I mean, they go to, you know, there's Cat House, there's Genesis, there's I forget the other one that's up in Hamilton. They all will go to either a detox or they'll go to an inpatient treatment, and then they'll get out and they either continue to go to that place or they go to another, you know, outpatient place like Brightview. There's a whole list of different ones, but the medication is put in a safe and then it's dispensed to them, you know, every night, for the most part every night.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, that's actually, I didn't even think about how they dispensed it or anything. But that's awesome.
When I was in Florida, it was totally different. Everybody had their own lock boxes and put their medication in there. So it's a lot different from Florida to Ohio, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's one thing is people, you know, Ohio is very, I don't know, they have strict laws. I mean,
Right.
the outlook on certain things is crazy, and I've heard of NA groups in Cincinnati that's like not signing people's paperwork coming from court, and I'm actually trying to figure out a way to help people like sign their paper if they do, you know, come on, come and do videos, you know, because a lot of it's about sharing, you know, and so I mean, your job, I'm sure that helps you a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I actually quit the job that I was at that actually helped me go through treatment. I loved the people there, but wasn't a big fan of the management, and that was probably because of the things that I had done, not really what they had done. I mean, I always try to look at, like, well, what have I done in this situation to make it bad versus, you know, like when we're using, we always play the victim role and think, you know, these people are out after me, and, you know, I know that's not the case.
We got to look at our part.
Right, for
Yeah,
sure. And
for
that's
sure.
the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, taking accountability, it is.
But, I mean, I have a great job right now. Like, since I got clean last year, I've taken probably at least a $10 an hour pay raise. And it's been by little steps. You know, I got out of treatment. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a license. I started paying off all that stuff and just taking the little steps it took for me to have a better life and to be able to have a better future for myself.
So you're doing really good for yourself. You're probably,
Right.
you know, you're thinking about getting out of the halfway house and maybe getting your own place here soon.
Right.
I want to kind of rewind and ask this question. 6 months before you got clean, when do you think of being where you are? So basically, maybe like a year and a half ago. Where were you a year and a half ago?
I was battling, trying to stay clean. Like, I've been in and out of the rooms for the majority of my life. I've been in and out of the rooms, and I, you know, was trying to stay clean, but didn't know how to stay clean. I wouldn't take suggestions. I wouldn't listen to what people had to say. There was no way I was going into sober living. That just wasn't me, and I was too good for that. And, you know, I mean, I was still pretty hopeless. Like, I thought that the life I was living was going to was that's it. Like, it doesn't get any better than this. And, you know, I mean, I stayed with my mom, but I created a very unhealthy life for me and her. Like, she would, you know, not know what I was doing, not know if I was getting high, if I was sober or what. It depended on what the week was. And, you know, I mean, now me and my mom, you know, I'll say it till the day I die, I'm a mama's boy. And, you know,
That's
I mean,
for sure. I was too, man. It's tough. Yeah, nothing like mama, for
right.
sure.
I mean, I talk to my mom more than I do any of my friends. And my mom's my best friend. Like, so, I mean, we have a great relationship to this day. And, you know, I mean, it's all thankful to the program, to the detoxes, to everybody that pours into my life.
Yeah, so things were really rough, though, at that point in life.
Right.
Then, though.
Right.
Yeah, and the reason I asked you to rewind to that was just to show, like, you know, what you could do in such a short amount. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be, you know, I'm sure, you know, like I said, it's amazing what we could do in just a short period of time, you know.
Well, I mean, I know that when I was going through all these steps and, you know, I was riding a bike to work, I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I felt like I was going to be trapped. And mind you, I'm sober and I'm trying, but I'm just not feeling like I'm going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then things started happening. Things started falling into place. I got my license back. I started, you know, looking for jobs in my background. I'm a chemical worker, and, you know, I knew that as long as I could drive back and forth to work, I could find good work. And,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it's definitely paid off. All the, like, little steps that I've taken to get where I'm at make me that much happier about where I'm at today.
You got to trust the process for
Right.
a while. I mean, because for a while it's hard. Like, you know, like I know my first year was really hard. Like, I was, you know, after 90 days, 6 months, I was on that, you know, that cloud.
Right.
And then, you know, even up to a year. But once you get past that year, it's weird because, you know what I mean? It's like you got to get used to living life on life's terms. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I remember, you know, when I first got back on my feet, being stressed out about having to feed myself and pay bills
Right.
because I was used to being locked up and I was in halfway houses and you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so it was overwhelming, you know, to a point, and you got to try to get so much back at once, you
Right.
know. So